The views and opinions expressed on From the Mouths of Madness are that of the panel and not of the Geeks Under the Influence Network or their sponsors, Amazon.com and tpublic.com. Listeners, beware. Coming straight from the Mouths of Madness, I am one of the hosts, Lowdown. With me, as always, is...
F you, Hunter. What's up, you looking at mirror motherfuckers?
You sweet, sweet bitches. Want some candy? Sweets for the sweet? I wish someone would have said that. Instead, it was spray painted. I'm like, damn it, motherfucker. All right, spoilers. All right, we're done with that. We're...
Say 5 times.
Spoilers. Spoilers. Spoilers.
No, I'm saying the
Spoilers.
title. You can say or the title.
No.
No. You don't.
I figure if I say spoilers 5 times, then the spoilers will appear, and then I won't. They won't be mad at me for spoiling the movie.
There you
if
go.
They're listening to this episode prior to actually seeing the fucking movie. You're like Kyle with fucking scary stories. Let's go listen to them talk about the movie when all I've watched is the fucking trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. And by the way, that's reference to our very first episode. Make sure to check that out. So tonight on the chopping block, we have 2021's Candyman. Now, yeah, there's a lot to unpack with this film. There's a lot to unpack with the original one, and this is a direct sequel to the original one.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
which is the new thing now? Is
but
like
there are similar, but
disregard the shit sequels and just make it a straight one from the first one. You know.
True, but what we're seeing in this that I think really makes it stand apart is we're seeing a deviation from the original. Like Halloween 2018 kept the same. It amplified the same pace from 1978 Halloween.
Yeah.
Amplified it. It just, hey, it's 2018 now. We can get away with more. We're going to do that. And we have a bigger budget.
Yeah.
You know, we got Blumhouse behind us. So this one deviated as well as did world building. But the deviation was kind of hard. Like it was a big shift in...
I think they built more on
film.
the mythology of Candyman.
And they kind of changed the motive.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to dive in. We don't got time to fuck around with this film, so we're going to go. So, yeah, it is a direct sequel to Bernard Rose's 1992 film, Candyman. And both movies had some filming done in Cabrini Green.
Yep.
Like, they used the same building in the flashback with Burke's character, the laundromat owner in 2021's Candyman.
Okay.
That is, as far as what I could find, the same building that was used in the original.
Okay, when we talking about when he was a kid, the
flashback when he was a kid in the 70s, when you had which is this film's Candyman is that guy Sherman, whatever his last name is, and they were able to, I guess, find the same building. Which, and again, I could be wrong on this. Listeners, correct me, email us, DM us something if I'm wrong with this, but it's kind of hard. Where's that building standing at? Because Cabrini Green is real in Chicago. It is a real place. It was a real place in 92. It was a real place. Still a real place? Still a real place. Didn't go anywhere.
It's all fenced in right there.
Yeah. It's all fenced in into just row houses. Yes, now.
It's its own little fenced in town. That bothered me a little bit.
So our writer crew, and which would consist of Nia DaCosta, Jordan Peele, and Win Rosenfeld, which Win Rosenfeld is actually the owner of Monkey Paw Productions. He was a writer on this, too.
No shit.
So Monkey Paw Productions, they've done tons of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to list it all. Look it up. You've seen the little paw stirring the fucking coffee cup.
Just real quick, before
the mirror, the fucking shit in the intro.
One of the things I loved is right at the beginning, everything is backwards. I fucking appreciated the fuck out of that.
I did, too.
Yeah.
Because at the end, if you stay through the credits, you're like, it's back to normal. You're like, see what you did there. So they really had a good starting point for a big premise in this film, which the same thing happened to the real Cabrini Green that happened in this 2021 Candyman film, where Cabrini Green got gentrified. I think they tore the last major project building down in like 2016.
Right.
And now they're building up high-rise expensive apartments, which we start out with this film.
It's happened in most major cities. I mean, we see it happen here in Richmond. I mean,
but it's just like, because it was a real place. Like, not a lot of films, I mean, outside of like using New York, or they do use big cities,
right?
But to use like a project outside of
this is actually, yeah,
I thought that, I mean, they again, Rose, awesome for using that. I mean, in the 90s, I think that says a lot, and also for Peele and DaCosta to move forward with utilizing that as well.
Yeah,
and the fact that there's their story, it's like, oh, well, I mean. That's a jumping off point right there.
Still there. Might as well use it.
Gentrified all the shit.
Yeah.
You're just moving people and tearing down buildings, So that's where we find ourselves in this one. We've got Anthony and his girlfriend Brianna moving to one of these gentrified apartments, it's ironic on its own right, man. There's a black couple moving into high-rise apartments that were built on the backs of poor black people. Like, that on its own, but without an awareness that that's actually what, they weren't doing it to like.
And you could say he's diving into kind of a gentrified culture with his art pieces being about the struggles of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like literally his art pieces are in these art houses with all these fucking stuffy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Looking at his shit, and it's all about like, his other pieces, there's nooses and there's, going through just the troubled history. And so he has a new project about, you know.
Well, yeah, so how his art, so he's an artist, so they're both artists.
She's an art gallery director.
Yeah, art gallery. But she has to know art, and she has to create a gallery. That's still an art form. You still have to design the gallery to be.
Well, I also think that was kind of a take on her having to kind of like deal with those motherfuckers on a closer basis, Like she stresses at one point they had to go to this dinner party. It's very, very important. And it's pretty much for her just to kind of kiss up to these well-known art gallery people from New York so that she can move ahead in this, she was like, look, the only way I'm going to get ahead is to make connections with these people. Mm-hmm. She doesn't seem to, like, she really likes it, but she's got to fucking do it.
Did you realize the connection there?
What's that?
When the original 1992 Candyman, Helen goes to a dinner almost in the same style restaurant.
Oh, really?
Because that's where the professor, or not the...
it's been a while since I watched the OG Candyman.
He's not a professor. He's like some intellectual elite. I don't fucking really give a shit what he was, but he's some huffy, stuffy motherfucker who basically...
I would just say art critic.
He basically... Well, no, because she's doing an expose and writing.
Oh, okay.
Remember, she was like...
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're talking about the original one.
The original one.
Yeah.
Helen went to a dinner party, and that's where she heard the original story of the folklore of Candyman. Remember, that dude who they were going to have the dinner with told them the story of how, I believe that Candyman, Tony Todd, our Candyman's name was Daniel something or other.
Shit.
Yeah, it was Daniel. So I would just go with the first name. It was Daniel, and how, he was a painter, he was an artist himself, and he fell in love with this white woman who was the daughter of a rich white farmhand, and he sent a lynch mob after him who cut his fucking hand off.
Yeah.
Fucking covered him in honey. He died from bee stings. Then they decided to hang him and then set him on fire. Yeah, that's where she finds that story out.
They were pissed. God damn.
Yeah, I know, that's fucked up, man.
Seriously, dude, that's like one or two fucked up things. That's like a list of...
That's a slew of...
That's how you create a fucking Candyman. Is not just like kill him, but fucking kill him like goddamn 10 times. Yeah, guess what? He's gonna come back and kill some white folks, all right?
He's the OG.
Yeah.
And this one really shows that, is that he was the original. Like, he was the first, right? And... Oh, yeah, and by the way, they spread his ashes all over what was now Cabrini Green in the 92 film. So, like that, there's a whole thing.
Yeah, there you go.
So, basically, you already see similarities between Daniel, a.k.a. Tony Todd's character from the original 92 film, with Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony is an artist.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend's father was an artist.
That's right.
He killed himself. And if you notice, as the film goes on, their artwork, like Anthony's artwork and her father's artwork starts to kind of mirror each other.
Yeah, it's a lot darker. It's like a darker, I wouldn't even say tone, because, I mean, the stuff he's covering is dark tone, but just the way it's interpreted, it looks like every image is getting more and more fucked up, more evil, like
splotchy, like you can't, like you really have to stare at it to make a form out of it. It's really fucking creepy, but also awesome.
I'm just gonna go in my first sort of rant. So he goes there. he's decided this is his new project. He wants to cover kind of the mythology of Candyman.
Mm-hmm.
He's taking photos to use for his artwork.
You talking about the bee?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets stung by the bee.
Now, that was a wink, I think. At first, I think it was supposed to be
fine.
a wink. Yeah.
But as the movie progresses, all right, he's looking at it, and his hand's kind of fucked up, and then throughout the movie, it's more and more fucked up. At some point, dude, like, he's not even acknowledging. Like, he
finally does.
Finally, but after, like, he's pulling fucking skin off. Like, dude, man, look, you know what?
Yeah.
There's no Band-Aids or shit. He's just like, oh, it's a little infected. Dude, your whole fucking hand and arm are, like, looking like they're rotting off. And at some point, he's like, I guess I should. When his fucking fingernails start coming off, he's like, oh, this is kind of bad. Dude, it was bad before that shit.
What was that reminiscent of to you? I thought of...
I always go to the Fly.
I always think of Cronenberg and Goldblum just...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But, disgusting. Man, dude... You're an artist, man. You need that fucking hand, dude. As soon as it starts looking a little, like, rough,
all right,
get that shit checked out.
And that's a giant plot hole, like, or not, maybe not even a plot hole, just a huge shift again in this mythos. Is like, how the fuck did that, because the bee stung him while he was in Caprini Green? How the fuck did they make his hand right? It's a fucking bee sting.
Well, it's because it got Candyman and the stinger.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Shut the fuck up.
I mean, dude,
stop.
That's about it. Like,
oh, God.
I look, if you're allergic to bee stings, that's one thing, but this dude literally through a period of days, like, his arms started decaying and shit like that, and I was just like, dude, why are you waiting on this shit, man? Go to the fucking hospital. I mean, like, he shows his girlfriend, he's just like, the next day, and he's like, yeah, this is bothering me a little bit. I was like, that should be bothering you. That should be scaring the fuck out of you.
It should be.
Yeah.
You're losing your way of life.
So, do we want to jump into the more recent, I guess, the 70s? How did they approach the Candyman that, got the laundromat's flashback scene with?
Oh, so when Anthony's in Cabrini Green, he goes. There's still like a section of row houses that has yet to be torn down, and he's kind of taking shots, and someone, I guess it's a shortcut. Why the fuck would you walk through there?
Because it's abandoned as shit, man. It might be the safest part of that area. I mean, I'd have a fence.
I forget his first. I think it's Coleman Burke. He comes across Coleman Burke. Well, Coleman Burke sees him, and he kind of just start digging into the Caprini Green, right? And Coleman owns a laundromat, and eventually it comes out between those two that because you see it in the beginning of the movie. There was a man back in the 70s in Caprini Green who would stand outside the project buildings and just hand candy to kids. Harmless enough, right?
With his claw.
Until a white girl... No, yeah, well, he did have a claw, yeah. Until a white girl got a piece of candy with a razor blade in it.
Yep.
Because it was a white girl.
Yep.
I mean, they
didn't care to like,
Well, I mean,
that's the way. No, they very much kids. Because police response is every officer detail now find this motherfucker. Yeah, yep.
That's what I'm saying. Like they were like, oh, it's happened to black kids for a little while, but white girl.
Oh yeah, white girl. Now we got a problem here, guys. Come on.
So they were on the lookout for this guy, and they couldn't find him. Well, Coleman goes to do laundry because Mama told him to, and when he goes to the laundromat, he sees a hole in the wall, which is reminiscent of 92's, because there's a hole in the wall, and piece of candy flies out. You're like, oh, shit. And everyone who's seen this, it's in the trailer. You see someone start to step out. Well, it's Sherman. He steps out, and he sticks his hand out and smiles, and his hand's full of candy.
He's not menacing at all.
No.
Yeah.
It's just the mentality of they're looking for this man. To a kid, it's shocking to see this person.
Now, I will say, he is wearing what I would deem the uniform of Candyman, with the long coat.
Yeah. And would you deem that Candyman costume?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, hey man, you know what? Yeah, you kind of already filling out the because I was saying he's got the long coat, he's got the fucking claw. Now it's a different style. It's the two-prong one,
Yeah.
But still, like, dude, you're not helping your case at all, man. You're already dressed up like the guy that murders the fuck out of people, all right?
Exactly. So anyway, the cops hear the scream, they start coming in. And they eventually find him, and they beat Sherman to death. Post-mortem, it comes out that kids are still finding razor blades in candy.
Whoops.
Oopsie. Yep. Killed an innocent black man. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Which, it's sad to say, is a state of affairs.
Yeah. And that was interesting to kind of bring that. And again, and there's not anybody watching that movie going, I can't believe that wouldn't have happened.
Nobody's watching the movie saying that.
I'm just saying, and that's what's sad is that, that scene takes place in the 70s, and we're a little bit farther down the road from there.
I think it was 77 to be specific. That was only 13 years past the civil rights riots.
Yeah.
In 64. Like, it's not that a lot of time, dude. Like, in the 70s,
but I'm just saying,
in 77.
Here we are, modern times, and some people are just starting to acknowledge this stuff. It's like, all right. I hate to tell you this.
I don't want to have a 2-hour episode.
I know.
Shh. Goose fraba. Goose fraba. Anyway, that is the Candyman that we have throughout this film. Just to crush that.
I'm going to say this right now. He's not very menacing. He's kind of a sad Candyman.
Well, they also don't show his... He's also beaten to shit.
And that's the thing the thing that kind of threw me off, is that when you see him, his face... is beaten, it's not decaying really or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So he did come off as menacing before he was killed, and then he just, every time he appears, he seems sad, but he still murders the fuck out of people. So It doesn't matter how menacing or not menacing you are, he still kills the fuck out of people.
I really enjoyed that, actually. I loved that the few scenes that we got with his face, he seems sad and tormented.
Yeah, it was kind of tortured.
Not, menacing or angry or rageful, or rageful, seductive, like not like the
almost
spider
like
luring you into.
He had to clock in. Yeah. Like you said his name 5 times, and he's like, "Fuck, all right, well,
I guess I'm going to work.
I'm gonna kill the fuck out of you, dumbass motherfuckers."
Fuck, why'd you say my name?
Yeah,
damn it.
And this is where we get the art gallery owner and his.
That was an awesome piece, though,
and that was really fucking cool because, of course, they're being fucking dumbasses, and they're like, "Oh, let's fucking do it." And
because no one at this point in the film, no one thought it was real.
Yeah.
So of course they see the mirror, the bathroom mirror. But by the way, we got to talk about that piece. That was great writing to have the artist, when he opens up the mirror, show images of what was behind the mirror from the 92 film. It was fucking brilliant.
That was cool as shit.
It was fucking brilliant. I loved it.
And of course, he gets shitted on by the art critic about that.
I love his response though when he's drunk as shit on the way out. Like, that was amazing.
Yeah.
It was, guys, I don't want to spoil it before you watch it. It's a great, it's good stuff.
But we get our first 2 real victims, which are the art gallery owner, and
he deserved to die. He was a piece of shit. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
He was a fucking piece of shit.
And it's all through the mirror images. But you see her throat gets slashed, and then you just see him just get fucked up.
And I love that was a theme until the very end. That was a theme throughout the whole movie, where you never saw Candyman unless it was in a reflection.
Right.
And I thought that was an amazing, like, I won't say it's evolution, but it was an awesome twist to, because in the original,
we're seeing like the actual real viewpoint as opposed to what's Candyman's doing.
Helen's viewpoint.
Yeah.
In the whole movie.
Yeah.
And in the sequel, we're seeing just images here and there.
My favorite is literally the art critic that our main dude goes to see, and everybody, they just can't seem to take a hint, and she literally is like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna do it too. I'll just stay in the mirror, and he decides, all right, I'm fucking leaving, and then you get this pull away shot. And all of a sudden, you just see her up in the air, slammed against the window, getting fucking thrown all over the place, and this camera's pulling back. That was fucking badass.
So good.
Yeah.
I mean, even the small things like slicing the screen, like, remember the projector screen got cut, like all these things that, because he sees him in the mirror by the projector screen, and he looks back, the projector screen, nothing there, and all of a sudden it's cut down. And you're like, it was so well done. It was very reminiscent of the remake of Maniac, which we will be getting a killer filler of that at some point, where you only see the killer in a reflection.
Huh. I haven't seen the remake, though.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it was good or bad. I'm just saying you only see, and Elijah Wood plays the character.
Oh yeah, Elijah Wood loves some fucking horror right now.
I'm down for that too.
Yeah.
He's a creepy little fucker. But you only see the killer in the mirror, in a reflection. You never see a existential view of the killer, which is awesome. I think it's a great concept, and they really went with that with this too. I don't know whose idea that was, if it was DaCosta's or if it was Peele's, but great fucking idea. It was amazing. So yeah, and you actually see the violence. You don't see the violence then. You see the violence as a flashback when because Anthony's girlfriend finds him in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
And through her flashback memory talking about it, you see the actual carnage.
Yeah.
So you still get the gore in this film. Like, you do. You get tons of gore. Especially, like, moving forward in the bathroom scene, same thing. You see the fucking, which is in the trailer too, the makeup thing open, and you just see feet. By the way, he never walks. He floats everywhere in this, which is...
this is where... Because, there's a high school girl that's at the art gallery for some reason. I don't know why. But the piece that our main dude's working on says, "Say my name." And she reads about it, and then she decides, randomly at fucking school, with her friends. And by the way, just in case you're like, oh man, I don't know, should we be cheering on like these high school girls being killed? A black girl comes in, and they are fucking terrible to her. And then you're like, yeah, you know what, you should go ahead and do that. Go ahead and say his name. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're just fucking utter shit. And I love that it adds to them in the short time, because we're not going to build up characters. It's just a high school girl and her friends. She's telling them about the Candyman thing. Girl comes in, they're just fucking terrible to this fucking chick, which, by the way, give props. Her backpack had a Bad Brains patch on it, so I was like, yeah, you're fucking cool.
Yeah.
But she's in the stall. They're still being shitty, but they still do the Candyman thing. And then we don't see really, you just hear the massacre.
You see the blood flow.
And you start to see the blood flow, and then, but a lot of it you get from the girl that's still in the stall, just watching people get dragged. And again, the compact mirror that falls down, and you just see the image of him in the mirror floating. I fucking love that scene. That scene was so fucking good.
And the thing is,
because one girl goes back, I forgot something at the sink, and you hear just like a chunk like sound, and then just blood.
If you ever, for listeners, it's like if you ever have, I don't know, for lack of better terms, like slit through flesh, you know that sound.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking about animals. I'm not like, you know, if you've ever like helped slaughter a pig, or you know someone's a hunter, you've killed deer, whatever. There's a sound that is made when you slice through the flesh, and it's
and this is at school during the day, like, you know, like a lot of the setup with Candyman, you're at home by yourself, you say it, you get fucked up.
Ted Raimi's downstairs trying to fuck you.
Yeah,
you know, like the original.
I'm just saying, this one, it's daytime, you're school, there's 5 of
bright
you.
Bright lights, fucking.
Yeah, you're just like, fuck it, let's do it. He don't care.
No.
Doesn't give 2 shits.
Gives no fucks.
He's like, all right, well, I'm on a schedule, whatever. But yeah, that scene was fucking awesome.
Well, and they actually double back on that type of setting when you find that Coleman Burke's sister was the first victim of Sherman as the new Candyman.
Yes.
That was in the daytime in the bathroom, because that dumbass wanted to go fucking
that was fucking awesome.
He opens the door, and it's like...
and there's dead bodies, like, oh, fuck.
And then he opens it up, and you see the hook go back in the shower. You're like, oh.
And that's one of the things I appreciate, is not every kill ought to be shown.
No.
You just establish it, so eventually you just see somebody go, Candyman, and then they're dead. They're fucking dead.
That's it. They're
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know how he's gonna kill you. You know, we don't have to see every time, and that's really effective.
And that kind of covers the kills. Really, the only big thing to talk about going through this movie is like literally is Anthony's like slow descent into madness.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not even slow. It happens over the. Well, no, okay. I feel like wasn't there a time gap in the movie? Of like a week or so.
I don't think so.
Because he's working on the projects. Like,
well, I think
like it's hinted at that there's like time in between where those two haven't been close as a couple.
So.
You know, I don't know.
Well, at some point he kind of freaks the fuck out, and she's like, "I'm getting the fuck out of Dodge. You're crazy." You know?
Yeah. Well, that happened like later. Like that was a defining moment in prior to the end.
Yeah.
Of the film.
But that's what I'm saying is and then she starts to kind of learn what's going on a little bit, you know. But yeah, him going crazy. You get a part where he literally is looking in the mirror and he sees.
Oh, and what's her face's the critic's house.
Yeah, that's where he sees Candyman.
So that brought some levity.
A little bit, yeah.
Like, because I'm like, this is kind of funny.
When he takes his hand, he's touching his head, but it's the hook, and he's confused. Like,
because
wait,
you see Sherman with that simple, like, he's like not angry, but kind of sad face, and he's just like tapping his head.
And he's like, "Why are you making me tap my head with the hook?" Yeah, that was a little silly.
He does like this weird like shook jive forward, and like all this. He's making like the most random ass fucking movements.
Yeah.
So I kind of got a kick out of that. I mean, It was terrifying because the music, and we talk about the scores in this film.
The score was fucking great.
Like they used a play off the original, but like the way the bass built up in that scene.
Yeah.
Like there was so much with the score. That's what made it scary. The actual imagery did not make that scene scary to me because I guess like we said, like when folks, if you let us know, but if you do not think Sherman was had the most kind face, like
he was that's what I'm saying. You knew he was gonna murder the fuck out of you, but he looked kind of sad.
He was a sad spirit.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, I don't want to do this.
Let's just jump to the end where
the meat. Yeah.
Where pretty much we find out that
he's the son.
He's the son. Mom didn't want to say anything about
Hey, like, so anyway, this bitch I thought stole you, actually returned you to me, but you were also in a fire from the OG Candyman, and I left that out. Which, okay, this is a problem I have with the film. They never, and I don't need like a deep explanation because there's so much more in this film that needed the time for the explanation, but I would at least like what Marvel does with like a 1 or 2 sentence throw off that just kind of gives you an idea. Why the fuck were they like estranged?
Yeah.
There was none of that.
Nothing. Yeah.
Big plot hole.
Yeah.
Big plot hole. And it didn't have to be. It could have literally been like a 2-sentence thing.
And you think somewhere somebody might have been like, hey, you were that baby that, because there's motherfuckers from that entire area.
Green, like,
you were like, hey, man, are you that kid that was the baby?
Coleman knew.
Yeah.
Well, he had his own motives.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And that's where we find out Laundromat Dude is like, I am a huge fan. I am such a huge fan. We got to get this shit. We got to get the ball rolling.
I actually summoned Candyman.
Yeah, your skin is closed, dude. You're right there. You got all the bee stung skin. So
the special effects on Dude at the end, where it looked like he was like a hive.
That's what I was gonna say.
Dude, oh god.
When he shows his mom right before that, you can see that it looks like he's like bad acne, like pores. But then the more and more it spreads, it's like a hive on him. Half of his face is like that. His whole arm, his bee-stung arm.
And then shoving the hook in.
Well, but the thing is, like, look, man, I got a solution for your fucked up hand. Just cut that bitch off. And he takes that fucking hook, and he's like, now where did he buy that hook? Was he just been sitting on it for a while? Like,
I mean, he even took time to pull it out of a box.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like a special hook.
Yeah. He's like, I special ordered this off of Amazon.
So I went out with this like deep sea fisherman, and he had a hook for a shark.
Got the dimensions, and he said you just shove it in. But here's what's crazy is as he's cutting his arm off, and he's shoving that in.
You see the tears.
But he's not reacting. That's the only thing that's reacting.
He's already in like a deep state.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He's already gone at that point.
He's gone.
Because you're watching that, and you're like, oh fuck, but like his girlfriend's there. She's reacting, but he's not. Mm-hmm. Like he's already almost kind of like, yeah, I'm the new Candyman.
Did you know that? I'm sure you haven't watched it in a while. You might not, but the final scene for both films took place in a church.
Yep.
I mean, it's a sequel, but there are so many little throw-ins to the original that were awesome. Yeah. That I love. But like actually seeing the making of a still living being Candyman was really cool. And like I said, the special effects team was astounding for this film.
All right.
Like
I'm gonna give it up to his girlfriend. I can't. What was her name?
Brianna.
Yeah. She murders the fuck
out of Coleman. Yeah.
I mean, dude, there's times where you see some movies and they're, somebody will get a knife and they're like, stay away or the way. No, she stabs him fucking 30 times, like goddamn Sonic the Hedgehog, like just fucking over.
Yeah. And that's what you should do.
But it's damn it. It's intense. Like I appreciate when you get movies where, because sometimes you're like stab, like stay away. This one, she's like, you are fucking dying this second. You're not gonna die of loss of blood. You are dying the amount of times this blade is going into you. She killed the fuck out of him.
Yes, bitch, because that is exactly
that's the most intense scene in this entire movie.
To happen.
Is you have Candyman, and in my opinion, the most intense kill is her with the fucking knife killing the fuck out of that dude.
Yes, and because like that's what's been missing with Final Girls.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, I'm going to murder the fuck out of you.
I want to see more of that.
I'm not going to stab you once and run away. I'm going to continually stab the shit out of you.
Yeah.
You will die after this. You won't run after me anymore. Like, Thank you. Please, like, more directors do this.
She didn't want to take a risk of him bleeding out. Maybe they could say,
stab.
She was like, you're dead. I'm not stopping until I see the life leave your body.
Like, she stabbed him so much, you expected someone to come out of the corner and say, "Et tu, Brute."
Yeah.
She just stabbed the fuck out of him.
Sound effect wise, it so just good. Sounded hardcore.
Yeah.
But, of course, we get to where now cops roll up.
Okay, and before we dig into this final scene,
man.
There's not a lot to dive into on the actions of what happened in the final scene. There is a lot to dive into of where this is where there's a differentiation, a big, at least to me, differentiation between the original 92 film and this 2021 sequel, is, all right, the thing they give you a lot of in this film, and this does fill up like a lot of the movie outside of what we've already talked about, is we've got the mythos that is Candyman.
Right.
Right. It starts with Daniel, right, who we already talked about, and then you've got the wrongly accused 14-year-old boy who was wrongly accused of assaulting a white woman. He was thrown in prison, and then he rode that lightning, baby.
Oh yeah.
Imagine putting a 14-year-old on a fucking electric chair.
That's
fucked up, dude.
You had to put phone books to make him sit up enough to. Yeah, that's
dude,
fucked up.
Fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
And then you've got Sherman, who was the next one.
Yeah.
This is our current Candyman.
Our friendly Sherman. Yeah.
Friendly Sherman. And then there's the other one, which I don't know why he wasn't actually our Candyman, but James Byrd Jr. He's the one that was dragged to death behind the pickup truck.
Again.
Just for moving into a white neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, really?
Yeah.
But that was set to happen in like 98. I'm like, it's 98.
When he be the most recent one then?
I think there was something to do with, I don't think that was like Caprini Green. Like,
okay.
I think that might have been more the outskirt gentrified. They don't really explain that.
Yeah.
But we see that we learn early on that all these have happened because of the wrongdoing to the black individual.
Right.
Wrongly accused bullshit nonsense. Right? Like, all right, so you can move into a white neighborhood, which apparently, means it's an upscale neighborhood, and because you're black, they can drag you behind a pickup truck. You fall in love with a white woman and get her pregnant in the 1800s, which Daniel, the OG, that means you can send a lynch mob out after. She's still gonna, unless you shove a coat hanger up there, she's still gonna have a mixed baby.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how that's changing anything. Like, I'm just saying, like, none of these there's no justification to have hurt any of these individuals, which they really build on that being the Candyman mythos, right? Like, he's a vengeful spirit towards the wrongdoing of the black community. Now,
unless you say his name too. I mean, like,
well, they do bring that in, and that is something from the first movie, where in the first movie he was all about killing his own people.
Yeah.
But that was because Daniel, in the original, it was said that he came back a lot of it because while all that was happening to him, all his black brothers and sisters watched, didn't try to stop it. So he doesn't look at them any better than he does the white people that did it to him, So there was this big shift. Like, in the first one, remember he when he comes to her in the parking garage in 92's Candyman, he says, because you have just, I didn't use these exact words, but because you've debunked my my mythos, my legacy, I have to shed innocent blood. That's when she wakes up and she killed the Rottweiler.
Yeah.
Well, he did, but like the baby's gone. He kills her fucking therapist. Like, he's doing all that to make sure his name is ringing out.
Yeah.
Because he can't be alive without that.
Yeah, because you need to have that legend still going on.
So he was about fear in the 92
film. You pick up on that earlier with the mom, where he literally starts to say Candy. She's like, don't say that. Don't say the name.
See?
Don't even finish the name.
Daniel, and they might just be doing this through a progression too. So I'm trying to figure out what she was going with here, which is why I can't wait to rewatch it, honestly. But Daniel the OG was playing off of fear, not revenge to the white community for what they did to him. He was more angry at his black brothers and sisters for not stepping in, because there was enough of them that they could have stopped the lynch mob from doing that to him.
Yeah. And
he was very vengeful to them for that. So he kind of became their boogeyman.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a big difference between, and I just have a hard time understanding why it evolved into now he is strictly going against the wrongdoings to black citizens from white police officers or white individuals, not just police officers.
I think, what happens is pretty much cops roll in, they shoot the fuck out of Anthony, and literally there's not
He fits the script of what they're looking for.
They run in, there's not a freeze, you got a weapon, they just gunshots immediately. And just in case you're like, oh, was there some misunderstanding? Then you get the detective who has the girlfriend, like what is her name? Brianna, thank you. Pulls Brianna and was just like, all right, now, are we going to have a misunderstanding? You remember how he pretty much setting up, like, how he threatened an officer and that's what happened. And you're going to work with us, right? Or are we going to have you as an accomplice to this? Pretty much just saying, you're going to agree with us or we're going to make your life fucking hell. Or maybe you don't even make it out of this area. And I love this fucking scene. She's back there and she realizes, like, I'm fucked. Like, how am I going to, it's all these cops. And she just asks for one request. She says, okay, that's fine. Can I just look at your mirror? And I guess she's like, all right, I'm doing it. And she brings back her boyfriend. In a way, she says the name. And all of a sudden, you just hear screaming in the building. And then fucking a cop gets thrown out. And now this is where it's a little more surreal because he's just there in the world, just fucking people up. And you have the cop that runs towards the vehicle and just his throat, out of nowhere, opens up.
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome.
That was amazing.
The blood splashed on the windshield.
I'll tell you.
And she has a smirk. And she's like, yeah, y'all fucked up.
Now, I will say there are two big scenes that are some of my favorite scenes from this film. And that is the one where he walks around the vehicle and you see each individual Candyman in the different, front driver's side, different Candyman, rear driver's side, different and it shows, it's almost like this, it's a hive entity versus like the first movie gave you like, it's the original OG, Daniel, and then in this film you're getting everything that came after him, and they've kind of all incumbent
They're just fucking up cops left and right. And I love the detective.
You did catch that. Different Candyman in each mirror, and then
that detective's like, I'm getting the fuck out of this car.
And he goes and then he runs out, and she follows, and Candyman of course got him. And at this point, Anthony is slowly throughout this scene getting engrossed in bees.
Yep.
Slowly more and more and more. So this scene, when he gets the last detective that was in the car with Brianna, he's completely engulfed in bees. And he kills him, and then when he drops the body, and he turns around and walks towards her, and the bees drop down, who do we fucking have? Tony Todd. Oh, and he says, tell everyone. Oh, God, dude. My balls jiggled at that one, dude.
It was a little distracting seeing a CGI Tony Todd.
He's a little younger.
Yeah,
honestly, it was such a short shot that it didn't bother me.
But it's that voice. And that's the thing. As soon as he said that, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So
actually, I don't know if they really CGI'd him. He doesn't look old.
I'm pretty sure it was CGI'd.
They made him lighter. They actually made him a little lighter.
His face is a little bigger now. It's kind of like he's got a little bit of the Lawrence Fishburne kind of going on, where his face has gone on.
Lawrence Fishburne got a lot of Lawrence Fishburne going on.
What did I say? Not that level. He's about mid Fishburne, right?
Lawrence Fishburne is like the black John Travolta. They just got wide.
Yeah, he's about mid Fishburne. He's a little bit bigger. His face is a little wider now. Yeah. So I think there might have been a little bit of CGI to keep him in that early 90s.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
There was another scene with Tony Todd earlier in the film, but that scene, like, I didn't expect that when the swarm went away, but when it did, I was just like, oh God.
And here's what's unusual with this movie, and one of the big positives I can also say about this. Most of the time, we're now getting to the credits, so we should be done talking about the movie, unless there's an after credit scene. This movie says, sit down for the credits, there is still a performance going on. And it does this thing where it splits the screen, where you have credits coming down one side, and you have what I guess a paper, It's
a shadow puppets.
Shadow puppet going over all the other Candyman and how the deaths happen.
And we had that through the movie too.
But it was really cool and entertaining. But I just, the way they presented that, and you get almost like you opened a book. And on one side are all your credits.
And the other side
is the feature of just going over.
It was,
and it lasted the entire credits. And I was like, that is awesome. You know, it wasn't a mid-credit scene. It was an end-credit scene. Literally, the credits are explaining the different deaths.
Exactly, and that was amazing. So all the different Candyman that we talked about, you got to see in shadow puppet form, and it was done so well.
That's what I'm saying. It was like it looked amazing. It was just entertaining. I was really impressed. That's a trick that, like, again, we always wait, like, all right, okay, well, I'm not reading anybody's names. Oh, big credit scene. Okay, cool. All right, I'm not reading anybody's names.
Oh, okay, there. Yeah.
And here, like, it was just really well done.
I just stayed glued to the fucking screen watching shadow puppet scenes.
Just the way scenes were filmed and that little trick at the end, like, I was really impressed with this director. I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about
what she else directed.
There was a lot of cool angles, camera usage done, like the scene in the elevator.
Color schemes that really just
like the scene in the elevator when the candy drops, it's got a razor blade in it, he looks up. I mean, it's in the trailer, but when you see it in flow of the movie, like, it just, there's so many awesome shots. So much awesome cinematography that...
he has the whole thing where you see, like, the skyline, but it's low, like the clouds over the skyscrapers, and this opposite viewpoint, or, you know, and I thought that was, there's so many cool little tricks that they pulled with this.
Or the from below up while he's painting, very reminiscent of Jack Torrance in The Shining in the freezer.
Yeah.
When he's trying to get in.
Yeah.
Or in the door outside of the bathroom in The Shining. Like, it was very reminiscent of Kubrick with those shots, which I thought was brilliant, you know, because it's fucking Kubrick. And if you want to show someone going into madness, I mean,
Counter wrote the book on it.
The Shining's King wrote the book on it.
King wrote,
Kubrick put it in the
showed how to film, how to have it, and not being
because something about that from below up shot just makes people I don't know. It makes you look more, because like you're gonna look straight, so you see a lot of the white of the eyes and then you see the forehead like furrow, so it really makes you look almost Frankensteinish.
Yeah,
like everybody, so it looks like maddening. I don't know if that's how that works or not, but that's just what I see. I see just, you know, I just see rolled up eyes and someone trying to get to something, and it looks fucking crazy. And the whole time when he starts to lose his mind and is turning into Candyman, you just see him every shot after that from the up, you know, when he's painting from down up, and it just looked awesome. It was so well done.
So,
I mean, it survives the chopping block.
Yeah,
it does. It without fucking. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm on. It's sophisticated, fucking socially aware, fucking amazing horror film. Horror has been socially aware from day one. We always preach fucking. Look at Romero, dude. He cast a fucking black lead in the '60s.
Yep.
Now he cast a black lead in the '60s that died, but in Dawn of the Dead, he cast a black lead that lived.
Yep.
And now that was part of opening the door for, now we've got these amazing all black cast, all black fucking filmmaker. Nina Costa, she is the first black female director to to open number one at the domestic box office.
Yep, 22 million.
Dude, fucking come on, man. Like, that's badass.
And for me, I would say the same thing. It passes for me. You know, I was worried. You get worried when you take a property, especially so long ago. And come on, man, some of those sequels after the original Candyman, not that strong. And taking that approach of saying, all right, we're not rebooting everything. We're connecting it from the original, and we're going into a lot more of the mythos. And we're going to show a little, you know, a couple different tricks of the trade with a lot of mirror vision kills, stuff like that. I thought, and again, that last scene with the cops was so fucking satisfying.
Yeah. Okay. So before we go out, this is another qualm I had, and I don't know if I mentioned it prior to us recording or at the beginning of this episode, but the end result with Anthony being Candyman, I don't agree with it as much as I did as the previous iterations of Candyman that they talked about, because all those guys were done wrong kind of out of the blue. Coleman set this up. It wasn't like...
Right.
No, but come on, man. Coleman set it up. It wasn't like they literally set up, he brought Candyman back to create a new Candyman. He literally insanely...
Right.
Like, the dude's not okay in the head, right? He's not there. Coleman, Burke, right? And he creates Candyman for the community, but it kind of goes against the other Candymans having it naturally happen to them.
Well, I think the cops actually kind of doomed themselves because they went in guns blazing.
No. The cops did do wrong shit.
Think that wrong right there, literally coming in.
But he was anticipating that was how it was going to go.
Right.
Based off the murders that have been happening when he brought Sherman's Candyman back.
Right.
About looking for a black male, trench coat, hook. Like, he set it all up.
Yeah.
So is it now like where
So you're saying if the cops had showed up and just arrested him, then, and not shoot first and then try to pin,
So there's a point being made for cops shooting first when they see the person that 100% matches the guy they're looking for.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. So that the whole plan had to them come in and say, shoot him immediately, and then
all relied on
just to emphasize that he was being wronged is where the cover up. All right, this is what you're going to agree to. I feel like that's where you have to stress. Then that's where he gets pulled into.
It all had to emphasize on the very last bit being put together, and that just seems a little.
I'm saying laundromat, dude. Yeah, that seemed like he was like, all right, and I'm going to pick. Hopefully the dirtiest Chicago cops are the ones that show up.
Saying like it was just
so
like
he did kind of luck out a little bit, right? He's like, oh man, I hope I don't get those those officers that actually follow the rules.
And like I said, I already said it past. It doesn't ruin the movie for me. It's just like in the vein of how detailed and hardcore they went with everything prior to that. It was just like
I still think he might not have been. He wasn't all together there. I mean, again, we talked about it. He bought that hook specifically for a purpose of shoving it in Anthony's hand.
Oh, did you see his little Easter egg in the laundromat? So one of the times Anthony goes to see him in the laundromat, he's reading a book, and it's Clive Barker's Weave World.
God damn it!
Yeah,
I went to look. Yeah. I was thinking. I bet that book has some kind of
Yeah. So for the listeners who don't know and have just seen this film, because you can watch this film without watching the first film, it's just there's a couple things that probably won't make sense. But I feel like you can get away with watching this without watching the 92 film. I really do, because they do a good job of explaining it. But
I think it's a good bookend. I think you don't have to because it's explained to, but you should
because it's a great film.
Yeah.
But the 92 Candyman film was based off of one of the short stories in Clive Barker's Books of Blood called The Forbidden. So you should also read that. And they also, to fit the area, they turned the character from white to black, but that's kind of...
Yeah.
It makes more sense in Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
Where the main character is red and he's black.
And when they ask him, he's like, I don't know, they just started calling me that.
When in the book, he's like, I'm Irish.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, Passed with Flying Colors. All in all, I love this film. I had to bring up the things that also just didn't tidy it up so much.
If you're on the edge, I'd
go fucking see it.
Yeah, you'll see it, but I feel like most people hopefully would have seen this.
We need more shit from this crew because, well, she's already been cast to direct Captain Marvel 2 and The Marvels.
There you go.
I believe.
Yeah.
For 2022. So we need more shit from this crew. So go support this fucking film for real. And as always, hit us up at geopodcast.com. You can see all our links to all our merch, tpublic.com. You click through that link and you can buy. Every show on the network has designs. A new one just dropped like a week ago. Just tons of shit. You can get on every fucking thing you can think of. And our other link would be amazon.com. You just click on that and shop like normal. And we just get a little kickback. We appreciate that shit. And as always, hit us up at lowdownbrown.goi.com. Let us know what you think about this film. Let us know if you went into watching this without watching the first film. And let us know what your different experience you had. Because I've been watching Candyman 92 since, I was like fucking 12, 14. Like seriously. I can't remember the first time I saw Candyman. But I've had like different iterations. I had it on VHS, then I had it on the DVD, and then I had it on regular Blu-ray, and then I most recently got the Scream Factory release of it. Well, that was like last year. They did their own collector's edition. So I'm saying like I've always loved this movie. I knew the sequels, man. Yeah. The original film. This is a sequel you need to worry about.
Yeah.
Maybe not the other two. But anyway, just fucking check this film out. Seriously. Check it out and hit us up. Let you know that you did. And as always, embrace the madness.
Join us at GUIPodcast.com.
Hey guys, Scotty Big Daddy Preston here, that's right, the Geek Father, asking you to join me here every other week with friends and family of the GUI Network as we go through all the trials and tribulations of being a geeky parent. So remember, join us or cry.
My name is Amy Bogard.
And I'm Mike the Hobbit.
And we are the hosts of Deeply Upsetting, where we use our expertise to answer your most upsetting hypothetical quandaries, such as, what non-winged animal deserves wings?
And what body part deserves a secret mouth?
Which cryptid is the worst roommate?
These questions and more that plague you will be answered on Deeply Upsetting, available anywhere you get your podcasts and at GUIPodcast.com.
In a world ravaged by movie studios that keep rehashing the same things, only one podcaster has the guts to make it even worse. Join Mike the Hobbit as he traverses the internet to bring you some of the best and worst ideas for reboots, remakes, and reimaginings of some of your favorite and least favorite TV and film properties. Ideas like a John Waters He-Man movie, Fantastic Four the musical, and Aliens, done entirely with marionettes. What podcast would bring this evil upon the world? This is Smack My Pitch Up. Available anywhere you get your podcasts.